Well, hello once again and welcome to the glorious icy island of Iceland with your good friend Varma II of Iceland. At the end of yesterday, our main man, King Triggy Leatherneck, died horribly, not from his strange deal with the Dungeon Master that gave him only 10 years to live, but in fact through a combination of a dangerous wound that got infected, followed up by a slap in the face by cancer. This poor guy did not stand a chance. He had the world against him, and now so does his son and heir, Varma II of Iceland. So, as is usual with this particular series and this particular playthrough, with every new character, we will roll them a random backstory using Kassoon.com's D&D backstory generator, a way for us to play this character in the most role-playing, I guess, an appropriate way for the character. So we're going to go ahead and fire that up now. Links to that is in the description if you quite like the idea. So, background is noble. Okay, yeah, I get it. And I think there's a good argument for that. Our guy, how can we work that into things? Well, I mean, look, he trained as a squire. He learned a bit more of the feudal side of things, maybe taking a bit more influence from continental Europe rather than Scandinavian Europe. We're also reformed now. We're not traditional pagans. We're moving away from that kind of tribalism into a structured church hierarchy. That makes sense that we would become a bit more noble. And this kid wasn't inducted into the berserkers like his father was by his grandfather, just kicking him in saying, go and fight. This kid was taken on as a squire, which is certainly a lot more noble on that front. So you know what? That kind of works. I get it. Background, noble. Motivation, you hope to increase your family's power and influence. I get it. Again, I think we should start focusing on the family itself now. We are still called Af Nordland because I don't think we've really done that much of legend or note. We haven't forged any great, powerful bloodline yet. We haven't really done much besides move to Iceland, and even that, you could argue, was a mistake because it cost us everything to do that. So I like the idea of this kid being the one to finally buckle down and say, let's make a legendary name for our dynasty. Class, Bard. Oh, that's an interesting one because you can't really do that in Crusader Kings. I would argue a Bard. What would you say? That's more of a combination of diplomacy and intrigue. Our kid is already getting good diplomacy. That's kind of working. Intrigue, maybe not so much. I guess more on the diplomacy combat front for our guy. And he's not necessarily good at fighting. He's in fact not very good at fighting at all. 11 personal combat skill. He's dull. He's honest. He doesn't really have an interest in fighting. He's very good at military prowess, but random martial only affects how good you are at leading troops, commanding armies. So he's got, again, that kind of noble backstory, but without the side effect that his father and grandfather had of also being, you know, on the vanguard, on the front line as a berserker. You join one of the great colleges to learn old lore, the secrets of magic, and the art of performance. Well, in my opinion, that would be the Hermetic Society, who not only have these grand debates that would be perfect for a bard, literally a battle of the wits, poetry competitions, you name it, but also they do uncover the secrets of old magic. You choose Hermetic arts, you write a magnum opus, and for a bard, that could work out really well, and you get to choose what magnum opus you write as well. So writing some diplomacy-based one, like some great song or an epic, something like that, an Iliad of our own would be quite nice to get. I think the Hermetic Society suits this guy in that regard, and bear in mind we can only access the Hermetic Society if we are not an unreformed pagan. You have to have a reformed religion or one of the more traditional non-pagan religions like Christianity or Judaism or something like that, and we've got access to that now, right at the perfect time. So I think that could be our kid right there. So you learn, to reiterate, you learn one of the great colleges, you joined one of the great colleges to learn old lore, perfect for that, the secrets of magic, and the art of performance, all of which I think tie into the Hermetic Society quite nicely. And the only thing that our kid has done so far, and again, it's by the backstory generator, Events 1, you spent time working as a noble. And I mean, absolutely we did. We were a squire to our father who became the first kind of Jarl of Iceland. I think this is good. I think this works perfectly as our guy's backstory. So there is an argument that we could flip over to going into a diplomacy education. Oh, you can't change it when set. Oh, really? I thought you could swap it over. No, that's right, you can't. Okay. In that case, we are locked into our martial education. So it's down to us now to try and... we shouldn't ignore his education, you know? Maybe he might not have a good... He might come out a pretty crap martial character, which will lend him better to becoming diplomacy. But we shouldn't just ignore it because our backstory has been randomized. We should try and combine the two. That should be part of the challenge, I think. So what we want to do then is still find him a good warrior to finish his education. This guy is skilled tactician, strategist. He's got 18 martial skill. He could be quite good. What we're looking for, though, is ideally someone with... ideally the level 4 brilliant strategist martial trait. The highest one, of course. And then a martial level of 20 plus is like pretty much would guarantee victory. Why don't we look for an educator? Now that our father has suddenly been snatched away, I think that's probably not a bad idea. Call a tutor to court. Very expensive. 200 gold. Wowee. We could just promote a commander and hope they end up being okay. 25 prestige. We don't have much prestige. Then again, we are just a child. 1.2 gold. I think we'll go for that one then. And you know what? Let's do that a few times. And let's see what we end up with. Oh, this guy's not very good at all. He's great on the personal combat front. Brawny, aberrant, but very, very bad at the actual military. Oh, not bad, but not very good at the whole military theory. Good in practical, bad in theory. Then we've got Ingilfer, who is very good. Brilliant strategist. He's got 21 state martial. Look at that. He's also erudite. A good educator. I shall make you a commander, and I will also make you command my education, my friend. Education commander has a much better ring to it than teacher, and I feel like that's a great way to get some funding into it. Perfect. There you go. Okay, you know what? This guy's giving me a little more hope. I think we could stand a chance of something good going here. Let's do all the regular kind of realm management on succession, the babysitting, tidying up. So we're going to make our capital the crown focus, try and get more prosperity going there. Again, downside to that is more diseases are likely to break out, but on Iceland, I'm really going to worry about that too much except for local breakouts. Trade master. Oh, we can make our Han Scholar Bureaucrat our trade master. Okay. And we get to keep him. He doesn't leave our court because our father died. He's here to kind of serve for life now. Law speaker. Ideally, someone maybe with a bit more diplomacy. She's gregarious and a charismatic negotiator. There you go, sure. Herdman is just, again, kind of an honorary title to dish out here. Member of Parliament. Let's make some of... Okay, let's make some clever plays here. Just from our perspective, for the fun of it. It doesn't really affect things here. GU, our father's previous... my god, it also just occurred to me. She's closer to our age than our father's age. We can marry our father's old wife. In fact, there's only like 8 years difference between us. Which really isn't that bad at all. So we might keep her around for that purpose. We're going to make her a member of parliament too. And that's a good idea. And then another member of parliament. We're looking for someone with a lot of sway. Someone with a lot of influence in the realm. This guy is a member of the Swedish dynasty. So this guy could make a lot of sense. Bercy. He's also got very, very good diplomacy too. So he makes a lot of sense. Mistress, we'll worry about that when our guy's actually old enough. And then for our final commander, I guess we'll pick Sverker again. I'll be doing a little bit of editing on today's episode. I won't normally do that because, you know, time constraints. But just to bring us up to speed a little bit with things, because we have been, I think, lagging behind. But one of the big things that makes me think that, one of the things so many people have commented on in Discord and in the comments is friggin' Sweden making me feel like an NPC in my own campaign over here. Somebody in the comments said that they are just out of control. They are the main characters in this, and I fully agree. The way I described it in Discord was they feel like your kind of average player, just blasting through things, min-maxing. Because when, I'm sure I've done it many times before on the main channel, playing as, you know, like a powerful province in Sweden, getting Mjolnir, forging these powerful bloodlines. I mean, look at this. Divine Blood of Arni, Reformer's Blood of Arni, the dragon. This is the guy I want to be. And as someone left it in the comments yesterday and quite rightly said, we're just happy to be over in Iceland, and there's me cheering like, yay, we've got 15 boats. Meanwhile, this guy is living your dream Norse CK2 campaign. I personally love that about CK2. The fact that we've got this NPC over here who is acting like a regular player, and again, probably almost identical to a series I've probably done on the main channel. It's so rare for them to reform the religion at all, let alone reform the religion, get all this other cool, I mean these bloodlines, these crazy relics, you know, Mjolnir wielding Swedish king doing everything that I wanted us to do. I like that. And I know it sounds weird being like, oh, this NPC is doing it better than us, but that's just how CK2 works. Sometimes the stars align and you end up with these absolutely insane characters. Imagine our first character didn't die in that duel. The things we could have done with him, and same with our last character, if we hadn't been struck down by cancer and the infection early, if we'd have got to live those 10 years at that superpowered state, we would have been incredible. Maybe this time with Varma it will happen and we will make a dynasty to rival Svithjod. They deserve their name and their artifacts and everything. we have just built a lot of boats right now. Let's finish off our spring cleaning, and then let's get to it. So, Chancellor, we're going to have Bercy, a member of parliament, member of that Swedish noble house, the guys currently ruling Sweden, the people who have had many kings of Sweden. Perfect. You go there, my friend. Marshal, we're going to go for Ingilfer, the guy who is currently educating us. Very incredible guy there. Steward, we've got our scholar bureaucrat from China. Absolutely happy to get him on board. Our spy master, Alfhilda, is actually kind of insane. She's shrewd. She's a mystic. She's craven, paranoid, chaste. She does have cancer, which is a bit unfortunate. But she does have also 25 intrigue. That's considered masterful. I believe 18, I was about to say 18 there is considered masterful. So Bercy's a masterful diplomat. She is beyond masterful. She's like a world leader in intrigue. But to be fair, and with intrigue and martial, they're kind of the stats in CK2 that can really roll out of control with the society. Same with learning to some extent. Really, it's only diplomacy and stewardship you can't go butt wild with. And as for our seer, see, we don't really have a good seer. Cole, Marksmeder of Iceland. I mean, you're better than nothing. He's only got 13 learning, a competent scholar. He's letting the council down, for sure. And to be fair, Bian isn't very good either. But he at least has that foreign expertise. He also does count as a scholar bureaucrat. He's building those buildings, given that build time reduction. He's quite good. I think, before the opportunity escapes us, literally she might leave our court, I think we're going to immediately arrange a betrothal between her and us. Again, she's not that much older than us, right? There's like 6 years in it. I thought she was 25, but no, she's only 23. We're 15, just about to turn 16. So there is only 6 years in it, whereas between her and our father, there was, you know, obviously significant. Oh, she was only 44. There's still only 21 years in it, which is obviously a much bigger age gap, but there we go. So we're going to marry her, see if we can get out of her some of those good children. Still, we won't get the full-on honor guard, as far as I recall, by marrying her with this, because we haven't used the favor to do it. We will still have a non-aggression pact with China. Not that it's relevant. It's not as if they're going to sail all the way over here to get us. But it's more the fact that she's got strong, she's got lustful, she's hedonist. We can make her like us. So I'm all right with that one for sure. We can compose a book. We do have 360 gold. I do think that we need to focus on investing back into the capital. Let's get you overseeing construction. Let's get you training our troops, rebuilding the units that we've lost at this point, quite frankly. And then you can perform statecraft. Yeah, just keep everybody happy with us. That seems good to me. You can go back and start stealing technology. Basically as far south as we can get, to be honest with you. Let's look at the tech map, see what we're looking at here. I want military organization. And to be honest, we are probably more or less as good as everyone else on that front. Somebody also asked, what does it mean? Is it a bug when it says that we have this head penalty with shipbuilding? So if we look at that, you see a head penalty 62%. No. It really is determined by, honestly, technology is mostly determined by your start date. Because we started in the earliest start date, when you've got those early Anglo-Saxon kings, you've got Charlemagne's realm, still splintered between West Francia, East Francia. Oh no, wait, sorry, I should say, was it Neustria and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it doesn't matter too much. The point is the technology levels across all of Europe are meant to be very, very low, and then you've got these big centers of technology, like, for example, going up through Baghdad, across through to Constantinople, all has that much more dominating technology and kind of South Italy, but it's meant to show the technological disparity. These guys have got really powerful troops. They've got that hundreds of years, or thousands of years of innovations and whatnot. Meanwhile, we're just some guys in a shed in Iceland, so it does kind of make a lot of sense, but we will catch up. I basically don't worry about it too much. You'll generally get your tech advances through other means than just passive points ticking up there. So who do we want to steal from? I'll be honest, I don't think anybody. They're all more or less the same. The reason I'm doing this is not to steal any particular technology, so that we can get that event. So there you are, 33.76% chance yearly of getting, what, 200 points in technology? That's the big deal there. It's not so much about going ahead and worrying about a head penalty. It's about innovating yourself, and then you can min-max it. You know, Sweden might get lucky and get some innovations with cavalry. We might want to go over there and steal that. Not only will we get a lot more points towards it, but again, we could also get that event fire and reinvest if we want to. So, what do we want to do now then? Really, there isn't a lot. I think we're set up. I think we're ready to go. We can still designate another commander, so we'll give that to Alfgeir. We do have a mistress available, which again, we'll wait until we're 16 before that's a problem. I guess we just got to wait now. and hope that our guy ends up being well educated. We have our fleets out there, which we were trying to get, obviously, Galahorn back from this dynasty over here. We will get it one day. Maybe not today, but one day we'll get that back, and we'll build our dynasty around Galahorn. These guys have Mjolnir on lockdown. We won't try and go for that one. My liege, the economy of the realm may be poor, but I must humbly request some funds for trading. I'm going to say no giving our trade master funds. In the long term, it could potentially turn a massive profit. It's more beneficial right now for us to be investing in directly building things. So we can build a naval supply merchant here. It's very, very expensive, but it would give us tax income +1 to this, obviously, holding. Galleys, that will also at the higher levels. I know it says economy tech points +0.00. What that means is that it's base level. It won't give any, but in the future, buildings that this one upgrades into, so naval supply merchant 4 will give economy tech points, so that's worth bearing in mind. What do I want to do right now? Honestly, I think we better to just invest into because we hold all of our domains personally, it'd be better to go and build a market village for profit on investment, return on investment. This is the best one to go for. Tax income +1, we're over doubling the tax from all of our holdings by doing this. So I'm absolutely going to go for that one first. Can we still invest in the capital? It's prestige we need more than anything else, isn't it? That's okay. We won't worry about it too much. Like I said, let's focus on evolving. What's it? Growing up? Here you go. Here you go. How did it end? Boom. Skilled tactician. You know what? I will take that. That's respectable. We've immediately turned into a 40-year-old man. Not sure about that one, Chief. Nice. We gain proud. Okay, that's not bad. Haughty can turn into some pretty terrible traits. Proud, arbitrary, or cruel. Cruel is obviously pretty bad for rulers. Same with arbitrary, unless you rule very, very well. Proud is probably the best of a bad situation there. So our guy ended up with 18 martial. Not setting any records with that one. But I guess our guy would probably go for... We're a bard? So it's kind of open to interpretation a little bit. We want to build up our family glory. So, I mean, rulership would work. Business would work. Let me just double check the actual wording specifically on that backstory generator. You're hoping to increase your family's power and influence. Business could be a way to do that. Honestly, all of them make sense. This is a very open-ended character, except for the origin, which I think we will go and join, again, the Hermetic Society. For the time being, then, we're looking to build our family's influence and power. Let's focus on family. That makes sense as the starting one to go for. Gives us fertility, gives us health. We can hopefully get an heir early, focus on getting them educated, and roll that backstory for them, and then go out adventuring after that. I think that's a great idea. So we'll focus on family, because our backstory specifically says family in its wording. Let's go ahead and marry our father's ex-wife. That makes our sister our stepdaughter. Things are already starting to get very confusing. But don't forget, Sweden reformed the religion to be, and this is another thing that's put up in the comments. Somebody counted it up and said that, I think it was Ecclesgates counted it up and said that they'd taken like 10 different doctrines. You're not supposed to be able to do that. They went buck fucking wild. Obviously, 2 mods not working together. Honestly, I don't mind. A lot of them that they chose were pretty bad. So normally I would discount Haruspicy entirely. The one that gives you your star signs, because they're all terrible. It just adds to some stat, takes away from another. It's a very, you know, kind of more min-maxing thing, but overall not very impactful. So that one I'm not really too concerned about. Same with like close kin relation. Can be very sweaty when you're marrying a brother and sister together who are both geniuses. Their kid will come out genius. You got more chance of genius kids. You marry those kids together, genius kids, etc., etc. So you can get pretty sweaty with that one, but otherwise that's not really relevant. The big ones are the, you know, the looting, the levy upkeep, the cheaper boats. All of that is kind of crazy. Venerating ancestors, I also agree, is kind of not massive. That's one I would normally discount as well. Sacrificing prisoners is great. And the holy close-kin marriages, again, I'm not really too concerned about. So, it's a very, very powerful religion. Probably the most powerful religion in the world. Not my fault. I didn't make this. This was Sweden. And like I said, this is why I say they're more of a player character than we are right now. They are min-maxing like crazy. So, let's go for... focus on building up our family. Oh, it's so open-ended. I mean, I want to say diplomacy because we should become more of a bard, but we can learn that from the society. Our ambition right now, for a guy who wants to increase his family's power and influence, I think he'd want to have a son. Because right now, it's our uncle, Gandalf of Poisoned-Tooth, who doesn't hate us, but he is our heir. If we were to die, he would take the throne. So I think we need to guarantee that this stays within our branch of the family. One thing I do love about CK3 is, of course, the ability to start branch houses, but I think we'll play some CK3 on the main channel at some point in the new year. Designated regent. That's a hard question. Make our seer. Who likes us? We want someone who likes us. Make our wife designated regent. She's got a lot of power. We're giving her a lot of power, but you know what? I think it's okay. As long as she likes us, as long as we can make her like us, ideally love us, that will work out fine. I love the thrill of heights. Oh. I love the thrill of heights, running on the castle walls and looking down at little people below. If I can reach out, maybe I can reach that bird's nest. Wait, who's behind me? Was that scullery maid going to push me off the wall? Who would want me dead? I guess I'll never know. Within the first few minutes of this character, we're already potentially being murdered here. This is not very cash money of you. 25% chance of us getting paranoid. Honestly, if we got it, I get it. I think there's a very obvious person who's probably wanting us killed. King Galfa, who stands to gain from our death? Well, it's Gandalf, right? If we die, he takes Iceland, the jewel of the Atlantic. I think let's drop our ships. Let's drop our troops. Let's lick our wounds a little while. Build our troops back up. Well, let's determine our zodiac sign too, I suppose. We are an Aries. Commonly associated with fierceness and honesty. To give it diplomacy. It does. We lose a little intrigue. We gain diplomacy. That works well for our bard backstory. I would describe bards as fierce and honest. Okay, sure. It kind of works. Lowering intrigue isn't ideal, but our intrigue is already pretty terrible. There's no wonder we're being assassinated, huh? Do we know any plots? We don't know any plots at all. It might be beneficial in that case to bring our spy master home to scheme and try and uncover some plots. See if we can work out who's trying to kill us. What else have we got here? Worship the ancestors. Let's do that. Prosperity and growth for my realm, or in this case, our house, both being, pretty much indivisible given that we own everything right now. I think that's a good idea. Now, our guy isn't a berserker. He's proud, he's ambitious, he's honest, he's brave. His bravery, I don't think, is enough to make him hack out his own eye. But we could sacrifice a prisoner to our ancestors. Elder Sven. I think that's a great idea. This guy is a possessed madman. Shrewd, hunchback, homosexual, cannibal. This guy is almost certainly part of the Demon Society, for sure. Look at these traits. Holy crap. Dim and bright. That's the most illegal thing of all. Throw him in the dungeon. I'm not trying to imply that homosexuality is illegal. What the point of that? Sorry, I realize how weird that might have sounded to people who haven't played much CK2. These are traits that you can gain from the Demon Society, specifically hunchback and homosexual, because you have these kind of massive orgies and maybe discover a little something about yourself you might not have realized before. The fact that he's also possessed, cynical, paranoid. He was almost certainly a member of the Devil Worshippers, the Society of Helheim. So maybe sacrificing him in that situation. Maybe that might have done us some favor with the gods. The offering struggled violently when the Godi and her disciples pushed it down on the offering stone. The ancestors will surely be pleased with such a vigorous servant. No, all we can do is wait and hope. And wait and hope we shall. We didn't actually get anything, of course, sacrificing our over the last character besides an infection that killed us. Let's commission a runestone then. We've got everywhere upgrading that we possibly can. And let it speak of King Trigger, our departed father. Did almost say departed father. Okay. What are we going to... Oh! I will soon no longer be a boy. Nor was I... What's the King Balgruff quote? When I was a little girl growing up in France. The time has come for me to perform the rite of passage that will mark the beginning of my adulthood. The shamans assure me that the larger and louder the ceremony is, the more like the spirits will bless me. All the people of East Iceland will be invited. 150 gold! Alright. We are here to increase our family's power and influence, and if the cost of that is throwing us into a little bit of debt that we can always claim back from our good friends over in the Vatican, I'm down for it. Invite the lot. Boom. Let's get into a little bit of debt here. A large crowd is reunited around my palace, waiting for me to emerge as a grown man. The sound of chanting, cymbals, and drums echo all the way to my chambers while I prepare myself. The shamans warned me that this is a delicate and dangerous transition when the spirits are closest to the world of the living, and that I should be careful not to anger the wrong ones. Do we want to ask the spirits of life to watch over us? By painting ourselves in vibrant colours, we gain signs of prosperity for 20 years, giving fertility and sex appeal. Do you want to build up our family, after all? We'll lose personal combat and bravery, but our guy isn't a fighter. He's here to learn about spirits and, diplomacy and bard-related things. I hope a powerful entity will lend me its strength. A sign of power by painting ourselves in strident colours. Tax modifier, revolt risk is lower. May the tricksters grant me their wits. We paint ourselves in dark colours and gain the sign of shadows for 20 years, giving murder plot power and personal combat, so ways to dispatch our enemies, or will they spare me from death and sickness? For 20 years, we gain +2 health, we lose vassal opinion, and gain plot power defense. I think out of all of them, I think either the Spirits of Life or this will make the most sense. This one is all about our realm rather than, physical strength. It's more like strength of rulership here. So the revolters will be down, the tax will be up. Honestly, I think out of all of them, to fit the character, let's go for Spirits of Life Watch Over Me. Wouldn't be my first choice personally, but I think it fits the guy the most. 15% fertility, plus 15 sex appeal. That makes people of either the opposite gender, or in our case, males with the homosexual trait, like us more. Just an immediate plus 15. Boom. I will take it. And bear in mind, we're also comely as well. We have a pleasing appearance. Oh, we did paint ourselves. Oh, that's quite nice. Can't say I've ever really noticed that before. Ah, no. What a merry feast. Surrounded by my friends and loved ones, I feel the thirst coming on. Page, more wine. Wait, this doesn't smell right. We've got it. Holy shit. Poisoned wine. How cliche. These amateurs will be brought to justice. Elfhilda is surely guilty, our spy master who dislikes us, who worships the old way. Who could have possibly guessed that she might want to poison us? So the question is, who was she paid by? She might have wanted us dead by herself, because she might just happen to be, her mystic ways, her zealotry showing there a little bit. Or maybe she was put up to it, paid by someone more influential. We know that she is the guilty party, though. Elfhilda, for attempting to assassinate your king. Petty king, not like a full king, but for trying to poison your king, I am going to throw you right in prison, my friend. Not only that, if our marshal was off of cooldown, we could get him to go to the arrest. Plus 21% arrest chance with that. We could wait until August and send him to do it, but of course, until she's arrested, she can still try and assassinate us. Do we know about the plot? It's Sif. Sif Bercy's daughter. Who is Sif and why does she hate us? The Jarl of Prussia's mother? Jarl Hurka III of... What? Why do you hate us? Rival minus 100. What happened there, I wonder? Wowee, okay. We hate her. She is, in fact, our rival. Okay, I don't know what childhood backstory happened between these two, but if we can turn Elfhilda into an ally, what a powerful ally she would be. 25 intrigue. And we are supposed to be a bard here. Maybe diplomacy is a bit more in our nature, and it would be a very powerful asset. Let's try and flip her over. So you know what? I'm going to say let's demand a religious conversion from her. She's saying no. We can imprison her, then demand a religious conversion. Let's wait a few more months. We could turn her into our best asset. From our biggest weakness to our best asset. All we've got to do is survive 2 months. And we know that she's trying to do it, so we're not exactly going to fall for her plots again. In memory of Triggy, the rune stone you commissioned has been finished and raised on the spot you chose for it. You examine the runes. The stone was raised by Varma II in memory of Triggy, his father, and Varma's son. He was, Varma the first son, that is. He was a caring father and husband and lived a good life. Ever will stand this memorial. You leave the stone content to the knowledge that many centuries from now, when its painted long since faded, scholars will be studying these runes and carvings in an attempt to glean the wisdom of their words. Whoa! I'm back. Hello. I had to go and do a COVID test, but here we are back with Varma of Iceland. What happened? We raised a rune stone, and then we married our wife. That's right, we're trying to be murdered. Well, we're not trying to be murdered. Elfhilda is trying to murder us. So I was going to move our marshal, Halston. Let's put Halston as our marshal. Let's throw you at suppressing revolts in the capital. Send him to the arrest. 21% extra chance. Taking us up to... when it recalculates, of course. Assuming we don't get murdered in the meantime. Oh, she's not at our court. Oh, no, it did work. 89. I couldn't remember if she had to be back in Iceland, but she already is to scheme. Let's get her out then. 89% chance of imprisonment. Queen Elfhilda of England. Oh, you know what? A couple of people have said that there's a bug with one of the mods we're running right now, where randomly, people will be given the Kingdom of England. Not entirely sure what's causing that. I'll go through the mods and see if I can figure it out. But a few people have reported there is a bug with that going on. A few people have played the mod pack as well. So I'll see if I can track that down. I'll let you all know for tomorrow how the hell to fix that, because that's a bit of a mess. This is a good example of a time we might not want to let somebody go through with the duel. I think it's fairly safe to say we don't want to risk our scholar bureaucrat to some random duel here who's got 14 personal combat. I'm going to say no, disallow it, but take no further action because I don't want you dying, Bian, because you are giving us some nice bonuses. The new Chancellor Thorfinn, there you go, and then a new Spy Master. I was going to turn her to our ally, of course, but the problem with that is there was still that plot on us. We could... What happens if we release her now? We could just sacrifice her, I suppose. Yeah. What if we release her? She's unlanded, but she has the quote-unquote Kingdom of England. Which has been a bit of a mess so far, hasn't it? What do we want to do? I guess I'll just leave her in there for the time being, because I'm not sure about that bug, how that will actually affect her releasing her. So what I want to do then is, let's get us immediately into the Hermetic Society. What are we lacking? We need a learning of 10 before we're allowed to join them. Okay, so that's our first major goal. We've only got 7 learning right now. Still want to have a son, which I'm hoping we can crack out pretty soon. Oh, Inspire Mellorism. We can do that on ourselves, right? We absolutely can. Here you go. Now we lose 150 piety and 500 prestige. But we will focus on improving one of our attributes, which I'm more than happy to do. So we want to... We can pick here the intricacies of politics, which will give us 1 diplomacy, 1 stewardship. We go for martial and personal combat. We want any that give learning. Perhaps I should focus on something else. Does that not immediately go to the next screen? Fortunately not. Okay. So, did that charge me again when I did that? I don't think it did, right? Bloody not, otherwise I'll not be too pleased about that. Let's go for intrigue and learning. I didn't know if there'd be another conversation that was like learning or piety, but it turns out that just straight closes the menu. Only by knowing ourselves can we lead others. 50% chance of 1 intrigue, 50% chance of 1 learning. So we get that learning. We did not. We got intrigue. Very typical. That's really to be expected, isn't it? We can also go into hiding because there is still that plot against us. That didn't stop the plot, of course. Now what's happened to her? Now she's just the County of Banavasi. The fuck are you talking about? So, there's obviously one mod that's broken here. Dishing out the Kingdom of England title randomly. But because we also swapped the capital of everywhere, I assume one of the people who had the Kingdom of England inherited a title, and now she's just inherited that because they've died. We could ransom her out, ultimately, because she is now technically a ruler. I'm going to execute her, though, because it's obviously not supposed to have worked. So we're going to go for a full-on sacrifice, because that's a little bit buggy, and I want to just make sure we're not using that to abuse the system a little bit. The priests drag Alfilda screaming to the top of the temple. They place her on the altar and slice her open with a ceremonial dagger. They tear out her still-beating heart to the cheers of the assembled crowd. That should teach people not to try and assassinate us, I think. Goodbye, Alfilda. Oh, normally you get a little fun noise when you sacrifice people up, but I guess not. Elder Cole is now our expected successor. You are our uncle, Varma the First son. Got it. I guess all we really can do now is just sit here and hopefully get that child. Our market village has all been built too, so that should help really knock on with our monthly balance here. 0.5 per month. It should recalculate. 0.88 per month. That's a pretty sizable uptick. It's still very little for the time being, but it'll do. What is that? Where did that candle come from? We see that? Weird. I wonder what caused that. Anyway, let's get out there and do a bit more raiding then, because there's not really much we can do right now. Do really want to join the Hermetic Society. Can't do that, unfortunately, until we get that learning. We could go for an artifact. An artifact is a good way to get some learning, like a book that will teach us some things. Eventually, we'll go to... What do we want now? Family focus? We could go for scholarship. The whole point of our bard backstory was learning ancient magics and that type of thing, and scholarship would be a good way to help work on our diplomatic side of that too. I think that's a fair idea. If you've got any suggestions, of course, for how we can build the character towards that particular backstory, I'm all ears. I do think the Hermetic Society is the best way for the time being, but if there's a better suggestion, I'm up for it. And our guy, despite that, is still the best ruler, or still the best commander in the realm to take over things here, so I'm more than happy to do that. Raising the boats are very expensive. Of course, we don't have enough troops for that many boats, so let's get rid of some of these. See if that takes the edge off that monthly balance a little bit. Still minus 1.1. That's the troop upkeep more than anything. Well, let's go and hit our good friends in the Vatican. We want to go out on a journey here to get minimum 76 gold. If we get an artifact too, that'd be nice. And our wife is pregnant. If we can immediately get a son out of this, that would kill our ambition. We then set a new ambition to become better at learning. A bit more of a learned bard man. I could scarcely believe it, but the pregnancy has made my wife look more beautiful than she ever was. Whenever we're in the same room, I can hardly take my eyes off of her. Better make a move quickly. 25% chance of us gaining lustful. She's lustful and hedonist. She's with a child. I should not look at her this way. I don't see why a guy would really care. Alright, let's go for that one then. 25% chance of getting lustful. Lustful would be incredible. We're on the family focus too, so... Damn it, that would have been real nice, because that would have been a nice big bonus to our fertility there, just from the trait alone. She's developed some unusual tastes in food, so I'll give her everything she wants and more for 1.1 gold, pushing the realm even further into debt. She didn't get gluttonous, though, which is quite nice. Okay, let's get out here. We really are following in our father's footsteps. Or I guess in this case, cock steps. I think that's an expression I want to take off. Oh, there's another England. Is it just making lots of different titles of England? Because that's not right. Kingdom of England belongs to... What? That's not right at all. Claimants? Oh, yeah, no, that's really broken. I'll track down whatever is causing that and destroy that immediately, because that's some messy stuff going on there. Do I want to dispatch some maids to our wife? We lose 10 gold, gain 10 piety. She's come to giving us some health, and she gains opinion of us because we are dispatching mage. Sure, this is very literally a situation where we're in for a penny, in for a pound. Or in this case, in for a pound, then in for a penny, in for a pound. Hello? Pope? I'm here for your gold, my friend. Only 425 defenders in the actual church there. But then, obviously, I don't think Tuscany we can still knock down. Or sorry, I should say Tusculum. 974. No, we still can't get through it, unfortunately. Few more troops. Few more troops we can get through. Oh, it's my mother. Right? Yeah, Radislava. She was in the Tang Empire. Oh, shit. She's trying to return to the Tang Empire. However, when asked about her adventures, she just musters about how there were always people. Too many people, and she has trouble hearing herself think. Oh, no. She went on a holiday to China and came back shy and depressed. Well, that's very tragic. Well, life moves on. Except for her, at which point life is probably in a bit of a rut. Elder Cole, I really don't mind, my friend. You wait, this is going to be a babby be born. Oh, look at that. Up here. My steward, Bian Weijing, has been hard at work in Söderland, creating infrastructure and motivating the local people to work harder than ever. Excellent. We've taken some disgusting medicine because we had a sore throat. It's lowered our fertility massively. Not that it's a problem because, you know, babby is already formed. If you can't make a taste go away for a year, that is really some disgusting medicine. A daughter? Excuse me. The physician, something's wrong with my son. She's a Libra. Stewardship. Damn. Okay, well, you know what? We could roll the backstory for the character when they're born. And I think that's a very fair idea. I don't have the site bookmark. I've just been opening up my videos to find the link. So I'm going to have to go on my own fucking channel now to find the bloody link to the video. Give me a second. Oh, sorry. Give me to get a link to the D&D backstory generator. I am looking for my own video. Please don't start talking. And then let's throw the backstory generator up. And I guess I'll just keep this as a rule going forward. We'll just randomize the backstory. Race is human, and then I'll just leave everything else very generic. So, background hermit. Okay, obviously a lot of this is very irrelevant. The class is the important thing. You never like the people that call you friends, so it's easy for you to strike out on your own. Origin, you squired for a knight who taught you how to fight, care for a steed, and conduct yourself with honor. You decide to take that path yourself. Oh, okay. That was pretty much our character's backstory too. I mean, not in terms of our random backstory, but in terms of our traits and our Crusader Kings character before we generate the backstory. Okay, you know what? Struggle then. We've still got those Norse traditions. We're still a very warfare-focused religion. We're still burning down Rome right now. Okay, Gila, all yours, my friend. And maybe she could be our successor. She could be our heir. We can change the succession time once per lifetime, so I might do that. Let's go ahead and immediately start educating you from birth then. Because our guy, despite the fact he's not incredible at it, is still a skilled tactician. Got 19 martial. Let's do it. We'll educate you. And in fact, we could change over to agnatic, cognatic. So, agnatic is male only. Cognatic is... Oh, sorry, I should say agnatic is males. Cognatic is female. And then agnatic, cognatic is male and female succession. But generally, there's a preference towards men. So, women can inherit. Only if there are no eligible males. Absolute cognatic is women inherit on the same ground men's do. Or whatever I was supposed to say. So ideally, let's do that. When we roll for 10 years, we can do that. But we also need the lawful status of women, which might not be difficult to do. Marginal is the first step towards that. We need tolerance level 3. Tolerance level 4 to get the full thing. We are nowhere near that. Currently, our tolerance level is like 0.2, so it might be a while before that's a possibility. Let's see if we can burn this down, because just burning this down will probably give us enough gold to pay off our debts pretty much immediately. Oh god, look. Due to my lack of funds to pay my sheriffs and magistrates with, a thieves guild has been established. Oh god, okay. I'm going to write a letter to my wife and say, hello, how's it going? She's happy with that. She's glad to hear back. Dear wife, burning down the Pope's house is going wonderfully. Thank you for asking. Just hand that to an Italian postman. Want to get it there in no time. 18 gold. Ah, there you go. 18 gold in the siege, but we looted from knocking down the castle 64 gold, which we will gain. That's been loaded onto the ships. And we got 83 in total because the whole county also has a loot bar. The loot system a little bit is a little convoluted. You get a little bit from sieging, which you would do if you were at war anyway. You knock the castle down, you loot whatever you can get your hands on, right? Individual, the actual holdings, that's the word. So the individual holdings, the castles, the cities, will all have kind of loot associated with that. Then the whole county has a loot bar too. But this is protected, so we can only take a certain amount because the fort level is pretty high, unfortunately. We'd have to knock the whole thing down for that. So we could pay off most of our debt, but we might as well pop next door here. And how many defenders you got? 433. We can kick this castle down too. And for some reason, the temple is held by the Bulgar Khaganate. Of course they are. I should say Khanate, shouldn't I? Right, kick it down. Oh, they've got troops coming our way. We probably could win, but can we escape? We can't, unfortunately. 9th of February. Alright, stand your ground. It's going to be Varma's first proper fight. But 1,055 versus 1,287 are probably heavily armored compared to us. We've got Berserkers, we've got Varma on the center. I think he's a good commander. And you know what? Look at their commanders. They've got a Bishop with 3 Marshal, no one on the flank, 13 on the center. We're going to crush him. We're going to crush him. And look, direct leader. I know our guy's not supposed to be a fighter. Oh, we got annihilated. Their reinforcements there really did send the side of that one faster. Let's go for here. Because this is an independent county and it's just a... Oh, my wife is pregnant again. I guess we did that before we set off. Independent county. They're not going to raise troops anytime soon. It's actually part of Rome, right? Oh, it's independent. Holy shit. This is just free gold. And we can burn it down. Only 327 guards for this particular province. I'm absolutely going to knock this down, no problem. And he's not going to get, unlike the Pope, he's not going to get any allies coming in to save him because he's just a nobody bishop. My wife wants secluded rest. Sure, go and have secluded rest, wife. I'm all right. At first, she struggled to rest properly in the dark room, but after I had a brilliant idea of having a bard tell her stories from the outside, it ties into the backstory. The experience had become a lot more bearable for her. She's learning a lot too. Hopefully, she can teach us something when we get back. Okay, kick these walls down. That'll fill up the loot bar. We get a little bit of cash too. There you go. Looted of 0. Okay, I lied. We didn't get a fucking damn thing. Obviously, the loot bar itself will have contributed a little bit there. They were sitting on a mountain of gold. Wowee. Yeah, we just stole 51.1 minus 15. I can't do maths like that. Are you joking? That's high tier stuff. It's very high level. Far too cerebral. I'm just a YouTuber. Well, let's get this money back then. This is gonna flip the coffers around entirely. Try and get rid of that Thieves Guild as soon as possible. I think this has been a good start for our guy. And we've had a son on fast. Here's the question. We have the comely trait. It's an inheritable trait. Our wife, my wife, is strong. The question is, has Arnfast inherited either? Arnfast Varmason is neither. He's a Scorpio, though. Scorpio is born under the sun. A Scorpio gives intrigue and fertility. Well, let's generate a new backstory for little Arnfast too. Can you type in a name? You can't type in a name. Not that it really matters too much, of course. Here you go. Background. Charlatan. You were poor or feared becoming poor. Okay. I guess it kind of works for Scorpio, right? A little paranoid. So you learn the tricks needed to keep yourself out of poverty. Class is barbarian. Oh. Okay, you lost control in battle one day as if something else was manipulating your body, forcing it to kill every foe you could reach. Then we basically just rolled a sellsword backstory for Arnfast then. He feared becoming poor, so he learned the tricks he needed to survive and became a barbarian and lost control in battle. So we should try and make Arnfast into a barbarian. Arnfast the barbarian. Okay. fast? What about fast? No? Fast arm. Fast arm the barbarian. Oh, it's genius. Fast arm. I did almost call him fat arm then. You know what? I'm in. Fat arm the barbarian. I like that. Fat arm Varmason. And we've had our son. And that means we can flip our guy. But bear in mind, our guy's only 18, so he has the whole game ahead of him. Yeah. Let's flip over to learning. We do want to improve our learning since it's poor, in brackets lower than 8, because yes, we're an idiot. That's very true. Then hopefully we can join the Hermetic Society and really get into our character's backstory. Then with our, you know, education at least in martial, we can hopefully educate Fat Arm. Good lord, I can't wait for King Fat Arm. What a guy. And then immediately, of course, we'll throw you into struggle. He fears losing it all, becoming poor, a destitute peasant like we were a couple of generations back. This lady wants to be our spy master. Wowee. We'll give her a chance. I'm not going to flip around the council at this point. We need to keep things nice and stable till we can pay off our debts, you know. People hate you if you don't have enough gold, of course. I think even our wife is probably not. Oh, no, she's actually fine. Like courtiers, vassals might not like us. Definitely vassals, but courtiers, we're not too bothered. No, he really doesn't care at all. I guess because we're bringing more gold back, huh? That's the headcanon. That's not actually true. What can I do to endear Queen Li Jiu to me? So based on her traits, which is the arbitrary, cynical, she tries to deal with her enemies. Yeah, okay, that seems like a good idea. She seems to have been pulled off a bit by my thoughtful present, but she thanks me for taking the time to prepare it. How nice of her. Yeah, I go up to your wife like, look, I'm going to teach you how to deal with your enemies. It might make her feel a little bit victimized. Like, oh shit, I didn't even realize I had enemies, you know? 140 gold, 140 prestige, and an influx of loot in East Iceland means that we are ending this one at least on a high. Thank you all for watching. A good start for our character Varma. Again, it's a very slow series because it's intentionally supposed to be because of the whole tutorial thing. Apologize about a little bit of editing I had to do with this one as well, so apologies a bit more disjointed than usual, but I wanted to do a COVID test, so, you know, it was kind of a good excuse, I feel. We'll be back tomorrow with some more Adventures of Varma. Let's hope we can actually get into that Hermetic Society, huh?